obubaka obwo bw'otusindikidde tujja kwata obusoma butereevu ddala nnyo. But well, here is the Sunrise crew looking bright and sharp. Aren't you looking bright and sharp?
Yeah, we're looking bright and sharp. By the way,
Susan's response seems to be far-fetched.
No, I look bright and sharp.
Since morning she has been doubting herself.
You're the one who started it.
They don't want to get the gadget. They want to be electric elf. They don't electric eel.
Bangandika feed them off.
I tell you what's that now.
Exactly. It's a moth. But it's just you what I will take lero.
Akutunuulidde
sigenda kabagamba kubanga ensanjagala mukono nga mukamanyi.
Anyways,
but it's a type of a moth.
I wanted us to remind our viewer that we are live on YouTube, and in case you want to catch a repeat of the discussion, you can actually go on Promise TV UG, Promise TV UG on YouTube, and Promise TV UG without spaces, Promise TV UG on YouTube, and you'll catch us on the repetition of the discussion.
And well, let's dive into this. You know, I was reflecting on this topic. Nantunolida, how we used to have the police post and how the president came out and erased them away. Edda waliyo sanga musajja n'enkoko ya white nga bamutwala ekizibu nga tekijira. And these days if you go to police stations bakolako wa police to go and collect the other person that is the offender on any other case. Ne crimes zikizo twogerako in this particular situation. Let's unwrap those crimes.
There are so many categories, but majorly there are 12 categories that we are going to unwrap.
Yes.
Number one, definitely the first that takes the notch is theft. Obubi. And of all kinds. Phone theft, burglary, ebyo byonna abayingira amayumba, snatching obusimu, all those are phone theft. Kisinzira ku myaka ekyo nakyo tugenda kiraba kati ebyo byonna biri mu report tugenda kubanga tubi unveiling olunaku olwaleero tulabe from probably 2019 how it has been progressing. But number two, another crime category is the common assault. Common assault is making physical attack. Kwegamba omuntu najja nakukuba ekikonde omulala nakufumita omulala, common assault. Number three, domestic violence. Eyo fenna tugimanyi obutabanguko mu maka twali tujogeddeko wano. And then obtaining by false pretense. Waliwo bana ab'obufere oli omusawo mwamuwulira impersonation, ebyo byonna obtaining by false pretense. Number five, threatening violence. Neyo nayo eri crime eryawo, nja kuta ojja kundaba olaba onookomawo wano mwe ebyo byonna. Defilement is another crime. And number six and number seven, thefts of cash. Zino z'okumanya nga ziri in another category kati bano abagenda ne bahakinga abo nabo babateeka mu category yaabwe mu cash. Yes. And then number eight, malicious damage to property. Eyo nayo eryawo. Then number nine, criminal trespass. Abantu abayingirira amataka g'abannaabwe, ababbi b'amataka, abagenda mu mayumba, criminal trespasses. And then thefts of mobile phones, ezo nazo kirabika nyingi kati ziri zokka bazikategorizinga zokka. Then cattle stealing, okubente owulirayo abantu sebo there are many ate sebo beepima ne mukulembeze ne bagenda ku faamu y'omukulembeze ne bagimulowooza nti yalina nyingi tajja kunotisinga naye mwana abinotisinga kuba yabalente yemu kwemu. Anyway, then 12 burglaries, ezo nazo ziri awo. Burglar aze n'amenya n'ayingira. Waliwo waliwo theft of motorcycles.
That has been really so
very
high.
Very rampant. And then aggravated assault general, aggravated assault general, eno okwegamba etwaliramu byonna ebyo physical attack zonna ezitwaliramu, simple robberies, aggravated defilement, child neglect and house breakings. Ezo zonna police yaziteeka mu report yayo nga they are really categorized.
You know, we're trying to get off club these particular cases. There's one you mentioned that takes the highest theft or would be, and this I think cuts across every item.
True.
Masimu, cocoa, and what? But I'm wondering why it takes the highest, considering others. Are people in survival modes, or the cost of living is too high? Let's start with.
I think it's literally it's about survival.
Okay.
It's about survival. Ojagenda okulaba nti since economy eri wansi and there is lots of impoverishment, even the inflation rates, even for the fact that the costs of living are really high. Kakati even the rate of unemployment, considering all these factors, ogenda okulaba nga olumu abavubuka babeera pushed, or si bavubuka bokka, but you will find nti abantu naye ng'ojja kusanga nti era age range eri wakati awo yabavubuka between probably 18 or 12 to 35 abatera okubeera involved in 30 cases. Bino byonna bipushinga abantu bano
okubeera waliwo ekintu kyetwalaba that every day over 2 million people enter Kampala from different areas. Now they getting into the capital city, definitely all those that are you don't know which character has entered at that particular time. So the crime rate is high because there are different people from different walks of life that are coming in from neighboring countries, okusubula, okola all sorts of activities. Naye that to undermine the role of rural-urban migration also. Living as putting aside ekyogamba nti no abasuubuzi bayingira ekibuga bulijjo ate ne bafuluma, but there is rural-urban migration. Abaana abava mu byalo bangi ate buli omu ajja n'ekigendererwa kye nga bamugamba waliyo akafuna eno, ogenda okusanga nga akafuna is pickpocketing.
Waliwo kyankute my eyes, especially this annual crime report Uganda Police Defense Force. Nga bagamba nti crimes have reduced by 4.1 degrees percent. Sorry. Ne bagamba nti Eja 2023 there were 228,000 cases. Kati Eja 2024 ne bagamba there were 218,000. Kati obala mwaka mathematics akatonotono olabira those are 10,000 cases by deduction. Zimbabwe knows, have people got born again? People have got reformed, greener pastures or get their way to it related this reduction. Even when Daily Monitor came out to say that these statistics are questionable, and Uganda Police never in Uganda, these are the right statistics that we have.
If that's what the Ugandan police has given you, if that's what they have given you, then go and that's what they've chosen to give you. You can't really question it. But I really want to believe Tiwolaba from the subsequent years okuva wetwaba post-COVID from 2020 and paka now 2025 ojagenda okulaba nti okuva kati wolaba gino emisango ejali we had 10,741 cases in 2023 ojagenda okulaba nti levels za impoverishment zali nyingi nnyo okuva mu lockdown yeyo and now people bali bagenda ba stabilizing ampola and remember every time abantu babeeranga baavu ebiseera ebisinga abantu babanga tebalina ssente nga bali mu mbeera mbi ogenda kusuubira emisango gino ogenda kusuubira crime rate okweyongera ogenda kusuubira obubbi ogenda kusuubira obutabanguko mu maka lwaki kubanga ne ssente zennyini teziriiwo ojja kwesanga nti most of the time buli lwolaba famire ng'erwana bwe babanga akasente kabaddewo obutabanguko bubeera butono naye sente bwe zitandika okubulamu oba omwami oba omukyala n'afuna obuzibu ku mulimu ebyennyingiza ne bikendeera ojja genda okusanga nga obutabanguko bungi obusungu bubeera bungi so literally I really want to believe nti okuva mu COVID coming to the subsequent years nti kiteekinze abantu a long time okuddamu getting on their feet in business, in employment. Jukira nti around that time ebifo bingi many companies, many workplaces zasalako abakozi abasalako nnyo abakozi because baali tebakyasobola kusustaininga and now even those companies some of them have just stabilized so kakati ojja kwesanga nti crime rate probably a drop in because people are starting to stabilize a bit.
You know, for every change,
when it comes to, when you look at the security, actually, if you've noticed, it's very hard to be in an area at Waliwo police.
True.
The police posts have increased like so much, and usually when there is the police, it's very hard for people to commit crimes. So naturally, it's easily addressed. And in certain places, and it's not just in town, also outside the city, there are very many police posts, and bambi they are working. People have reduced where people have found like certain things have been done like theft, burglary and all that. They've been addressed because of the many police stations that have been set up in different places, both in the middle of the city and outside the city.
Actually, so our the IGP, Mr. Basia Kagawa, called that decentralizing the police, and he says that there was need the decentralizing services through sub-county policing model. That is what they called it. Now, whereby you talked about something crucial and said that edda twalabanga police station ng'eriawo netumanya this is MPG police station naye kati ogenda buli sub county waliwo police post ate I've liked the fact that even these days there are police posts, small police posts, especially in estates. Ogenda okusanga in a place where there are many people. Wabeera into something related to police. So decentralizing it, that model has really worked for us.
But you also have to, I would really want to highlight something here.
Yes.
Much as Gondi crime thefts Gondi, we had a 12% decrease. Nayate Ojakulabant, we had a 1.6 increase in cases of economic and corruption cases.
Yes.
Economic and corruption cases where we had 13,132 cases of economic and corruption crime. Kakati oyinza okusanga nga gino emisango egirimu robbery and theft and burglary probably nga gikendeddeko based on the reports of the police naye ate egirimu obuli bw'enguzi n'egirimu egiri literally economic nga gikwataganira ddala ku byensimbi egyo gyate gyeyongeddeko so it's something we really need to so would it be probably because abantu tebakyakozesa maanyi na mifumbi okukola emisango nga bagenze the software and the
oyinza nze engeri gye nkirabamu kiri nti maybe police may not be directly
tackling the other ones.
Yes, addressing it because I mean these are economic video offices, public offices, so kati balinda bana abantu okubaleetebwa to be brought to them, but for the theft cases they are directly involved.
Yes. So about the corrupt, you see, whenever something is not dealt with, it's like a seed, it keeps coming back. Kati omuntu wabela they got away with it because they paid. These are the same people who keep doing the same thing and they know I'll still go away with it. And we're saying that those same crimes keep increasing. Imagine we've been dealing with the money issues in banks, realize they don't go lower. Tebagama, they stole 20 million. It's always more than that. I mean, we've gotten to billions.
A lot of money.
Exactly, and they keep going away with it. Yes, some people come to justice, but how many have come to justice? Yes.
You know, I'm caused or triggered to think about what's behind this reduction, because 10,000 plus cases, I mean, going down, it's something significant across different platforms and different places in Uganda. Now, for change to happen, whether it is positive or negative, the sentences given by the courts, do you think because we have seen, you remember that lady the house help who really did injury, now starving her from food and all that, her receiving, was it 8 years in prison, that being an example to those who can potentially come up. Do you think the court ever reducing these cases?
Yeah, because I think there is also another case where she was supposed to be subject to 20 years.
Yes.
So some of these punishments, they threaten people. Imagine, because usually how old? So many of us look out for people who are like 18 to 25. 18 to 25. Now subjecting you to 20 years, meaning you come out when you're 40. So this also helps people to hold back from whatever that they have to do. All of certain things are being implemented. Very many people have started using cameras. When they use cameras, they can easily see whatever that is going on. When it comes to theft, if you look at businesses that have implemented the technology, the use of those cameras, they can easily see who has come into the store, who is stealing what, and very many people have been addressed. They're definitely given in for justice.
Very key. Now get about the economic and the social impact and how it has. The neighbors let's get down to ourselves. Do you guys feel safe in your neighborhoods? Do you more than safe over
Omanye, there is no way you can feel safe. But as a matter of fact, feeling safe these days in our neighborhoods, we have to do a lot for us to feel safe. We have, for example, in my neighborhood, we have put up a private group of security men. Mayumba Kumi works for us. Mayumba Kumi is even different because Mayumba Kumi is everyone having a whistle, and then now when you are attacked, you blow your whistle. Ngokube filimbi yo katinga ba neighbors baja. But for us, we've gone a notch higher to get private people in the estate. Not only the estate, but in the village. Ngabano tuina security. Kukachiko ka chairman kuliko security. Katoyo wa security. Aina abantu bayina naye be yateekawo who were chosen from different angles. Kati abo bo twabagulira torches. Ate si buno butochi. Serious torches kuba waliwo quality je baagala tubagulira gumboots. That is number one. As an individual, you go again. Sue has said we've installed cameras. We've put up ebipande banange umbwa kali. Temoja wano, they are dogs.
Cases. Have you people caught any cases of theft?
Yes, we get some, and some just, of course, slip out. There are those that are really smart. But for example, what you are trying to ask, if we are feeling safe, when you put up such, for example, we know people say that, your side there, waliye mbwa nkambwe, ate buli omu alina camera. Kati ababbi, by the time they even get to regroup themselves and start thinking that, okay, maybe how can we jump into these fences? Oba otaddemu kinene nnyo. But again, you just can't sleep because the moment you hear your dogs barking, you are going to wake up and peep outside. Waliwo abataddewo alarms. Katinga obero wulira, there is an alarm that has gone off here, your neighbor's alarm, your alarm, another alarm, nga alarms they've gone off. Meaning we are not safe. We are not safe.
But you know, a feeling of safety is not always enough. Really, it's not. You can't really depend on that feeling of safety because nga deploying amaje ku kyalo kyo oba mu kitundu kyo nga ne police post kuli kumpi, it's still wisdom for you to put a padlock on your house.
So and we have seen also thieves who steal the policeman's gun.
So at the end of the day, Gondi, even when you feel safe, but really you can't decide to feel safe. At the end of the day, you have to always be on the lookout.
Me, I don't know if I feel safe because we used to have a police post right close to where I was. It's been, I think, 2 or 3 years now. I can't work early, but there is no policeman. There is no policeman there. But so we rely on when you have like a big maybe institute. Definitely they have security, but still, what no either you are not safe.
You're not.
I tell about like these are scars, you can't trust them.
I think for us what keeps us where we stay is the fact that we have I think UPDF or military person. So one day they came and patrolled and they did a shoot to kill rule. So banaba red top bajane ababbi bali awo bali mu nkoko bali kubba mu nkoko. And then these guys were patrolling in the night and picked the gun, asked them, what are you doing? Shot them, their brains poured down.
What?
Now that history in the place has a way how it has kept the thieves away. Yes. Osangoli naleke egali it is not even with a lock, but he feels it is safe. So that historical does not mean that all other places may be safe. Now we'll try to say domestic violence and how it has reduced. I think some key parties have also helped in this situation. That if there is this, you have to report here, you need to get help, speak up, and that's why we are saying that this particular report of the domestic violence has a big effect on the stability of families. And you know that domestic violence also affects children.
That's true. A 4% decrease is quite something. It is very good.
But yesterday, I watched a video. I was in shock. I saw a woman beating the husband. And the child was on the camera.
Recording.
Yes, and the mom was telling the child, I'm punishing him for lying. I don't like liars. Like, you can't even watch that video because you're like, okay, who does this? And I was thinking, either the man chose not to beat her back, or is that being weak? I don't know. Now this is something the mother is showing the child. It's okay because the child sounded like a boy. It's okay to beat your daddy. It's okay. And I'm like, so these things are still going on, despite the fact that yes, laws are being implemented. Yes, there are punishments when you do this, but stuff is still going on. I think, and they do it now in broad daylight.
A case like that, we have not seen women who have been penalized for beating their husbands. Why would a woman beat a man? Kati webakukuba ne bakwasa omutwe, you weak vessel. Because we have to get... No, it's disrespect. I think we need cases, just like domestic violence should not be taken up as a woman issue. Sure. It is to both men and women. And women, it is high time, by the way, abamateeka okukwatayo omukyalo ogwo serving as an example. As a matter of fact, I think that video should go viral. Oyo omukyala bamukwate amuteekeko mu kaduukulu for 10 years for beating a man.
You remember what the other lady told us? Whom we hosted last week, I think. Yatugamba nti very many men even fear to report because when they go to report to the police laughs at them. They look at them as weaknesses. Katibambi naguma ne bamukuba and he can't even tell his colleagues, which is very bad. So women take advantage of that.
I was analyzing that 2023 report. Still on domestic violence. Now the cases were 14,681, and the ones of 2024 were 14,073 cases, a difference of about 600. 600 cases in our population. Like you said, that particular video, like I want to understand. Media or social media mulowooza inengeri gye yambyemu oli walaba akanaga siso akikola ekyo ate twalaba mu COVID-19 cases, someone gets a gun and shoots somebody and all this increasing. Maybe some key organizations have grown to be more aware abantu bayiza okugonjoola ensonga, community gatherings and saying that, hey, I think we need to do this, we need to address this. I can't live with maybe those particular cases that do rise up.
You talked about media. Partly it has helped, but partly because yes, Jane says that it would be nice if it goes around. Yes, it will be nice. Partly,
but it isn't
nice. Right? Some people will feel like I can do it. So it will help positively and negatively. Social media and these kids are not limited to whatever content that they watch. I mean, content is now everywhere. So it is nice to go around, but partly it's not.
Everything social media always has a positive and a negative side.
Sure.
But for me, my issue is that person to serve as an example, that no man, no woman should get there in their normal senses. Okujako nga a mental health issue should stand up and beat another older person omuntu mu category.
And it should also raise awareness to the concerned organization, the lawmakers, and okumanya nti, by the way, there are women that actually beat men. Kubanga, this is something chetutatera kutekako nnyo sida. Tetutera kitekako sida. Actually, some people don't even believe that there are women who beat husbands because other husbands never banamukuba tagenda kuvayo. Part of the reason by the way is because agenda kumutunulira in a certain way bamugambe gwengo oli munafu. He will also feel like it's putting his ego down to go report nti banagenda omukyala wange yankubye ate bwana retaliatinga na yakube. There are all these organizations that will stand out for the woman. They will, meanwhile they don't even care whether to listen to the side of the man. All they will say is
but Stuart, I would still say, men, you need to stand up for yourself, because Kati, we look at so much image, public, how the public is going to perceive us, but it's your health. It's your life on the line.
Who was about to get married to this fiancé.
Yes.
And then until the friend said, hey, you are going in a dead trap.
Exactly.
Yet the woman was torturing her.
Yes.
But there are some men who are gentle, or maybe because they don't know violence, and they're manipulated by these ones that have violence. I've learned that trauma is carried on. For someone to come and start, you were saying they were forking his back and all the time. Like for someone to do that,
Auntie, that's why we are saying, men, you need to stand up for yourself. And this is something that we should also teach our children, the boys. Tukuza tugamba balenzi, you don't have to cry. You have to be strong. Your ego. It's okay to cry. It's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay to stand up. Olava, we have children who go to school. And because he's a boy, you can't tell him to do what? Come on. Me, I'll tell you.
Like take a look at you and hear from our audience. And well, if you're watching us, we want to say thank you for watching in. But we want you to spice up this discussion by letting us know what your opinion is or feedback on this particular crime report that was released. Twawulidde cases are reduced by 4%. Twagala kumanya what you think about that. And well, you can use the number scrolling on your screen. Eric WhatsApp. It is 0746405060, or drop us a comment on YouTube. We are live. Tugenda kubanga tujisoma obutereevu ddala nnyo. Tag us on our social media handles: Promise TV UG on X, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. Tujja kuba tulindidde ddala nnyo. Well, let's get back into our discussion. Twakomye okuwulira nti domestic violence cases have reduced, but there are people who suffer in these domestic violence cases. Children.
Yep.
Because they lost 500 shillings. A child is starved because of this. But well, when I try to analyze the report given to us by the police, they say the cases have kept on reducing by 1,000. For 2023, there were 13,000 cases. In 2024, the cases have also reduced. They are now to 9,000 cases. Who's behind this force? Maybe even organizations in
just like we've mentioned, that we don't have to underplay the role of media. I mean, I want to believe that awareness is now out there, that the social media, much as it may come with some negative impact, it also has a positive impact. And having these videos go and rotate, era abakozi abalala abasigaddeyo bakimanya nti webakwatako because there are some maids that go into homes and they don't know that there are cameras. They don't even know what that thing is. Kati omukozi webamukwata. But me, I want to believe that instead of having our prisons filled with such cases, abantu ngabo bakwata no bakozesa community work emyala jaffe jiddugala bateeke mu myala omuntu omuteeke mu mwala gwenna kivubo atandika okuuta omwalo ogwo agugogole how many years are 20 years?
Achikole for 20 years?
No, for as long as the law can give them, it can be a month or two. Ngali ku community work. So that buli omu amanya abakola kwogwo omwala bakuba abaami. Abakola ogwo omwala bebakwata abaana abawala.
Olaba community work simubi. Ne wala abantu abalina amaanyi gaabo nga ye talina buzibu kola community.
But the shame.
People get ashamed. Akola omwala then agende mu komera. Some people are not
ashamed.
Mama, kati nga go ova mu mwala noddayo n'okuba ne bakukomyawo.
There are people who have go to a place ne bagamba nti
they don't care.
Mama ne tata ya bafa bona, so I have nothing to lose. Like that kind of.
But you know also people who are taking advantage of kubanga every time a number of people increases in prisons. Do you know that gwomuwiwa omusolo gwabasasulira, you're the one feeding them? Me, I'd rather have them do community work. Aveewo n'enjala ye addeyo mukomera alye one meal. Mu kifo ky'okukeera ku makya ne bamuwa breakfast, lunch, supper, ate bw'agenda mu nnimiro ez'abalala nga bamusasula. Do community work.
Do you know that when you look at the European kind of prison arrangement, according to the case that you have committed, they grade you.
True.
But serial killers, they have where they're also placed. Those who did defilement have where they are placed. So some of those people, I kept watching the documentary, and they have done this for the past 40 years, and they cannot get out of it.
And they are okay.
And they are okay.
Do you remember that case where President Donald Trump was saying that, all right, we are now going to release all the people. And this woman comes out and says, no, leave me alone. I'm not paying taxes in prison. I don't have I'm not indebted to anyone. I'm eating, I'm drinking, because just like you've said, that documentary, and we have seen very many other movies, those people are taken care of. Like you're told no reason why you're even coming out.
Jean,
but there has to be a reason why. On top of someone nga bamukutte ng'akola ekintu, ekibonerezo should be equated to what they have done. On top of shame, nga bakusiba ng'ate tofuna mmere nga bw'osuubira.
Jean, olaba waliwo wogambidde about social media. I remember last time when you came out and said that omuntu ekifo ky'okustopinga the violence, they instead spend time in recording.
Recording the crime.
Yes, ate in that, because you people sometimes you're a bit insensitive. Olaba bakuba omuntu.
No, we are not a bit. We are very insensitive.
Bakuba omuntu. Instead of offering help,
You're
recording, and yet the person is on a verge of death.
Kisinzira what the case is.
Whichever case, a case is a case.
But for example, you would look at a crime that happened on Olugudo Oluli Emabega Wowino, Afumbe Mukasa, of that young man who kicked the man Namjako Sente. That is a case that happens in the middle of the town, and tabera muntu omu kubeerako a whole gang of others nga bali mu kutambula n'ono. Kaakati ebiseera ebisinga abantu ensonga lwaki batya okugenda probably to do something about on these people is because babeera bakimanyi nti ono wajjidde n'abeera ne boldness ejj'okutuba omuntu okumuggyako ssente, abeerako n'abalala ababeera bamuwerekedde. Kati abalala abamuwerekedde bano be bagenda okudiiringa naawe in case you go no indulging. Now the most you can do is record so that at least you can catch their faces.
But that's like in town. But we're talking about like domestic violence at home. A maid and a child, or a man and a wife, stuff is happening. You can clearly see, but you're just recording.
Like people are become maybe Stewart, that word is in Uganda. Chana, I think it's called
or something like that.
Yesulide or what?
Yesulide Gwanagamba.
What is that?
You don't care? Something
you
like
don't
that?
care.
You don't care? So people have taken social media to be like the god of everything. Content. This is happening. And what it has put us at risk is that we can't even verify whether this information is true or not. Do you remember the late Honorable Muhammad Segirinya? When the media said, you know what, he has passed on. And then, of course, after that is the president, that is his president, Bobby Wine or Robert Chagulanyi, comes out and says, oh, sorry, a pulse has been found in his brain. And just after 30 minutes, we are sorry, he has been declared dead. So it feels like everyone has become a journalist at this particular point.
But you can't downplay the fact of the much as there are a lot of negative impacts that come with social media, but you can't downplay the fact that it also helps out on curbing crime. For example, that case that I've given you, police yatandikira ku video eyo okugenda okunoonya omwana. You look at a crime that happened on Wilson Street where webabbako omuyindi ssente. Era it was with a video. It started with a video and police yatandikira ku eyo ogenda okutracking abantu abo. So really the fact that we have social media, ekituufu kiri nti there is a lot of insensitivity that happens with social media. Nti ebiseera ebisinga it even goes beyond omuntu obutafaayo, but also ne content yennyini abeera recordingiddwa ku social media and it's put out. Wabeerawo content ngaali too sensitive naye nga baaka recordings. Of course it's crime naye nga it's too sensitive that you wouldn't want some people to even watch oba omwana omuto, you get. But we can't tetusobola kukijjawo nti social media also helps out mu kugezaako okukwata abantu bano ababeera benyigidde mu bumenyi bw'amateeka, not only on domestic violence but even in other cases.
You know, Stuart, nowadays there is a report here and something stood out. Do you know that the males have a higher ratio of being arrested, the ones committing crime, to the female? And I was like, this is intriguing. Like, imagine if they have said that the cases were 228,000, now 180,000 of them are male and the rest are female.
So the male have a higher,
yes.
Of course, the male get into survival mode, really. The male species, because he's the one to provide at home. Pressure elikuye yalekawe sente za kameza, and the economy is just it's where it is. The inflation rates are where they are. So because there must be survival, humans will do anything to survive. And for the cases where, for example, we had those facing but because these days ababana ndoza bagenda mu kafumbe mukasa wherever so now this side ne bakenderako but ero genda okulaba nabo abana b'ekifeesi, all of them were boys because the male species must survive.
A while back,
make ends meet.
Stuart shared some news regarding how a policeman gave his gun as a guarantee at some savings circle, and he said it is this too bad, you know.
It was a policeman.
It was a security guard.
A security guard, because I want to believe that security guard was not told the magnitude of what he's holding, even what he has. Because giving out your gun
as a guarantee, this is what happens. Security guard bakwate mundu namba ne baje kati okute mundu, how much does a gun cost?
Sure.
How much do you pay for it monthly? Kakati ojikutte emundu eri that precious, eri that dangerous, ojikutte ojiwadde omuntu gwowa emitwalo 10, emitwalo 8 asula ebweru every single day. And by the way, this is part of the reason why we are having very many men involved in crime. Like ngegwanga tukyalemereddwa okusetinga minimum wage. Kakati buli muntu yenna akola establishment ye oba business ye asalawo okusasula omuntu gwabera employees engeri gyayagala. Kakati abantu abasinga like it's very unrealistic. And you will hear stories of people otula n'owuliriza stories z'abaana abo naddala abali into security, and you get to wonder n'abakola emirimu emirala egyo. So every time omuntu bw'abanga like they are being treated unrealistically, you're going to have all these things happening.
But also women, you know, the women use a lot of emotional influence. Omukyala bayinza omukwata nakola katemba nakujukiza nga bwali n'abaana simanya all that. And also I think they're really highly favored when it comes to the prison. Ojja kwesanga abakyala babata mangu. There is a lady, it's a very sensitive crime that happened recently. That was last year. I can't give you all the details, but the wife was involved in something that the man started, convinced her to get involved. Kati omukyala amtekanga yalinga ali in charge of the money, a lot of money. I'm talking about billions of money. And omwami neyekweka, I think even flew out of the country because yataka bagenda bakwata nebakwata omukyala. You people, this case watch no yanogamba onomukazi tagenda kubayo. That's a lot of money. Until the family does not have it. Like when you don't see any hope for this lady. Tell you what. So katenga fetu people down go to omukyala. She came out. She came out. Ante abasajja batya. Kati ndoza mne amugamba you go. Gwe bajja kuta. Naye nze tebajja kunta.
But in such a case it depends on who has arrested the lady and who is giving out justice. Kubanga tetujja kulowooza nti amateeka gagenda kubeera bent because of a particular gender, because omukyala yeegayiridde nnyo oba omukyala
do you know why I'm saying that? Do you know I'm saying that she could be favored?
That's not the way it should be.
Do you know I'm saying that she could be favored, or favoritism could be there? It's because their family will tell you, we did put in money in this. Nekati omukyala naye bwagenda they use emotional blackmail.
Ndoza kisinzira kugundi ku negotiation gye babeera nayo kubanga gwe gyotali bayinza okubanga ba negotiating with the lawmakers ne babagamba nti if you lead us to the person eyatandika kino for you, and they had such a
you've met traffic officers nga kucho omukyala n'omusajja, omukyala in one car, omusajja in another car. Have you seen what ladies do?
Omusajja balina empaka, omukyala by the way nange mukola nnyo nange I'm sorry my child.
That's not how it's supposed to be.
That is not supposed to be like that, but you use what
they
you
go
have
away with it
to get out.
Yeah, they go with it.
Emotions is what you have. Use it and get out.
Gee, that's emotional manipulation. But anyway, if as we draw to the close of this discussion and show, there are also some cases that have not received justice yet, and they are still in court, you know, across different kinds of ranges. And a while back, taught me how the courts still have backlogs from over the previous years. And when it comes to justice, someone receiving justice, what should we hope and what should we expect? One these days, arresting at least within 24 hours, they need to release that person.
True. The courts of law have to take up these cases and, you know, put them forward because for example, an issue that may arise in the nation. For example, currently the Dr. Kizza Bessigye's matter. Kati, such a matter is a matter of security, which really engulfs the whole nation. So some of these small cases are put aside. That is how the backlogs come about, because there is a sensitive matter that is thought to be more sensitive and highly regarded and should be dealt with immediately. So adjournments take place. The court has been adjourned. Your bail has been, because there is a highly sensitive matter that has to be dealt with. But me, I want to believe that if these cases, for example, of theft, domestic violence, those issues should not wait to go to High Court, for example. They should go to the magistrates' courts, where they are swept out easily, dealt with easily, and taken out, so that we reduce on the backlog.
Gee, this year at the start, the Chief Justice, that is Winyodolo, came out and declared about the 45 judges that were transferred. And of course he promised us that very many court backlog cases would be dealt with. But of course, katetumani whether the courts are fewer or the judges are fewer.
All much data on such delays is because of even in testimonies and evidence, bagenda okujja okuwa obujulizi, bw'otunuulira all such factors bireetera emisango okudirenga mu kooti kubanga oludda olumu lulina right okwapiiringa. That's how ng'olaba ng'omusango gwali badde guwedde mu bbanga tono nnyo, naye oludda olu probably
okubeera wayinza okubeerawo naye nga evidence ya state erabika.
Anti bwe buzibu obwo kati olumu n'osanga nga probably omuntu gwe babadde baloopye nga bamusingisiza omusango ye naddayo n'akola appeal n'agenda mu kkooti eya waggulu. Kakati ebyo byonna ng'ate ne mu court of appeal balaba ng'omusango guno tegwetaaga kuwa nnyo budde, tegulina magnitude y'amaanyi eri awo, naye nga balina okuwa obudde because that's what the law says. So ne basooka ne balinda obujulizi busooke buveeyo, kati omusango ne gudirenga bwe gutyo nga nabo bwe bafuba okuwa emisango emirala priority egirina magnitude ennene kyokka nga n'emirala gyeyongerako. So
but Sam, let's not neglect this. There is corruption in some cases. Nti olopya omusango nga bambi mutuufu. And because you are maybe goli kulo level, goli against is in a higher rank, and they take you into prison. I mean, how many people have we met in prison when they're innocent?
And Susie, you remind me a time when I had gone to meet one of my uncles.
In prison?
No, just visiting casually. We are conversing, and then one of his friends comes. And the guy was shedding tears. You know, when you see a grown-up man shedding tears, you just know that he's maybe pressed against the wall or what nature so seco. So he keeps crying, he keeps shedding tears, and we're like, what has happened, what has happened? And he's like, I have finally got my land back after 35 years.
35 years.
35 years.
And I was like, how many more cases have still gone maybe unattended to? I was emotionally even now.
Nadala mostly cases is involving ebintu ng'ettaka.
But one of the key things we need to encourage the viewers and people that are watching us is to stay on the outlook. Even as we do our day-to-day life, the maid that you have brought in, are they eating the food of the children? You know, those small petty things. Sometimes justice may not come wholesome or timely as we want, but we can prevent some of those things from happening. You know, one of the key things I've realized is how different we are, but we still have to get along regardless of what happens.
True. Well, yes, I mean, justice at the end of the day has to be served.
Fairly.
And fairly served, yes. But I want to commend the police, Uganda police and the IGP. They are doing a great job. They are doing a great job. Reducing crime in a nation is not easy.
Sure.
It's not easy, especially where there is so much activity.
But Joe, we must also acknowledge that other parties have played a role.
Yes, of course, there are other parties that have played a role, but because we were breaking down the police report, it is only right to give credit where it's due. It is one of the parties that have played a great role. Yeah, and especially because Uganda is known as a nation that has the highest number of youth, meaning youth activity is too much, and they are energetic. The police has done a great role to reduce crime.
But also, of course, we commend the police. Thank you so much. You're really doing a great job. But nothing abantu abatuze, the citizens, we need to be on the lookout. Nadala abakozese kubo abavuga buli kiduka kyonna kyonna ky'obavuga, because when you look at road safety cases where you had 25,107 cases and you had 25,908 casualties. So tulina okwegendereza please nga tukozesa amakubo ge tukozesa ng'ovuga emmotoka eyo, please wegendereze nfuba okulaba ng'ogobera amateeka g'ekkubo todduka nnyo, because at the end of the day
that's a very good statistics, and n'abantu balina okubanga basaavisinga emmotoka. Bino ebyokutwaka emmotoka ku luguudo nga breaks nazo wasembye gamba mbu they've weared off. You're also placing other people at stake.
True.
You know, finding that a passenger has lost their life and, you know, arguing that this didn't happen is something really bad.
But also, maybe when it comes to personal safety, I know we come from different places. Be vigilant. We know actually a lot of crime takes place in the night. Be vigilant when to move. Like, follow your instincts. And you know our instincts are still alive. I feel funny. I feel like something is going to happen to me. Or you know you're in a place where security is not as good. Be very vigilant. By the way, pepper sprays are still there. Have one in your bag. They're still there, but still it's not tekuwa lukusa kutambula chiro. Keep in places where you know it's safe for you. If you obelo manyinti fortunately very insecure, why would you shift there? Get a place that is more secure. Care for yourself. Care for yourself. Yes, we've discussed all these things. Now I think to know everybody will be taking care of you. Your health comes first. Your life comes first. Take care of yourself.
Well, I believe that we call it a wrap for today. And the crime report that we have reviewed and revised and asking our viewers to continue remaining vigilant. Banange, Briomo, Lekatoyongero Kuberanga, we are security conscious. I mean, avoid situations of violence or trying to be a witness. Konga police here, the moment you said, Nala be had them, but it's such Bagama Jangu, come and report. Come and report that. Come and report that particular case. So let's be security conscious and stay away from violence. You and I have every reason to change and transform this country. We can take that percentage from 4%, probably even to 22% in this coming year. Anyway, so we do call it a wrap. Thank you so much for watching the Sunrise Show. But just before we go, let me ask the team something small.
Yeah.
Is it bravery or brevity?
Bravery. Why brevity? Bravery.
Omanyikaliza mu literature nagana netikawo brevity. But well, it is the Sunrise Show. Catch us up tomorrow, same time, 6:45 to 9 a.m. Thank you for being a great audience and all those comments that have come in. We say from us to you, bye-bye for now. Coming up is the kindergarten.